Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you lot are doing all okay. So just got another spins video for you. Today I'm concentrating on kind of prog and psych. After all, that is my thing. That's what I've been playing. So yeah, I've got some goodies to show you. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. Right, first of all, some great US psychedelia. Now I showed this one not too long ago. This is called The Rugbies. The album is called Hot Cargo. I picked this one up on my last trip to Rise Above Records in Highgate, London, and I would have showed it on that vid. This is amazing. This is brilliant. What kind of perplexed me about this when I got hold of it is that the fact that it is so cheap. I mean, this would not turn up much in the UK anyway. But when you go on to Discogs and look at all the copies for sale in the United States, it's like really cheap. I mean, it's as low as kind of, $5, $6, $7 US. And whilst we should never kind of judge the quality of an album on how much it costs or how much it's worth, that's not really how it works. You have to admit, any kind of obscure US psychedelia or even UK psychedelia from the late 60s, from that kind of era, normally sells for a premium, especially when it's on a kind of small label. In this case, this label is called Amazon. I love that design. That is so cool. Small label, which I believe, looking at Discogs, only had one other release, or at least one other album. So I was kind of sceptical as if this would be any good. And I tell you what, it is bloody excellent. It is psychedelic. It's not too experimental or out there. It is what you would call a really, really great selection of songs. And I would go as far as to say that there is not a duff track on it. It's very melodic. It's catchy. I think it has actually stood the test of time, but it has got that kind of late 60s psychedelic kind of garagey feel to it. It is absolutely amazing. This would have passed me by. I heard of this band from watching a BBC documentary, I think last year, and in the closing credits they had a song off the album. I can't remember which track it actually was, but I got my phone out, Shazammed it, and there we go. This came up, and I just thought, if it turns up, I'm getting it. And lo and behold, there it was. Very pleased to get it. So my advice to you, especially if you are located in the USA, look out for this one. It's cheap at the moment. It is what you call cheap heat, and it is a great US psych album. It's brilliant. As I say, I think it should. I don't want records to be worth more. That's not what it's all about. But I just feel I don't really know the score with its kind of low value. It's weird. Anything, you get things that go into sort of $50, $100 and beyond of this pedigree. So yeah, very interesting. Pick it up while you can. The Rugbies. Right, next up, pretty common album, this one. Although I haven't played it for quite some time. This is Grave New World by the Strawbs. Now, I've owned a copy of this for years. I haven't really sort of given the Strawbs much attention, to be honest with you. I've got a few of their albums. However, I picked this up a good few months ago in a batch of records that cost me £1 each. So this was £1, and it was in better condition than the one I had. The record itself was filthy. It was covered in grime, but I cleaned it, and it's actually nigh on unplayed. It obviously was just stalled badly. But yeah, it's a UK first pressing. Got the kind of lovely triple gatefold sleeve. Let's get the whole thing out. Come on, if we're gonna do this, let's do this properly. There it is. Booklet. It's on A&M Records. It's not a pricey album anyway. It's only, I got it for £1, but it's probably worth more around the £10 region. Anyway, I played this, and do you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed it. What a great record. I mean, this outfit started as a kind of folk, kind of psyche folk, but they kind of went into progressive rock. I think it was thanks to having Rick Wakeman in their ranks before he joined Yes. This is the first album, I think, without him, while he was riding high, doing Close to the Edge and Fragile. But this is great. It's still got the folky elements to it, but it is drenched in mellotrons. I love the sound of the mellotrons, and if you're a prog fan and you love mellotrons, this is definitely an album to pick up. Definitely, as I say, it's easy to find. I would say at the moment, £10 give or take, in good condition. They were good sellers at the time, and it is a band I need to start digging out the other albums that I've got and appreciating them more. Very, very, very good indeed. Glad to get a mega, mega cheap copy of this one, because you do not get decent records of any merit for £1 these days. I think you'll all agree. Okay, up next, this. This is a one and done, self-titled by Thor's Hammer. I should stress this is not an original, not a chance. Originals of this were only released in their native Denmark on Metronome Records, I think. Discogs, you're looking £500 upwards if you can, obviously if you can get a decent copy. This is a reissue. It has been reissued officially on their own label. This is listed as an unofficial one. It's on something called Plastic Fantastic Records. This might be the only thing they've ever released, but the sound and pressing quality on it is absolutely great. So I might be in the market for an official one if it turns up, but this will do absolutely fine for the time being. And if you can see it, get it. So this record is amazing. If you like prog, this is essential. I would describe it as, if you can imagine Jethro Tull without the flute and replace the flute with sax, and make it take these sort of heavier elements of Tull and a little bit more sort of lengthy, heavy improv. That's what this sounds like. I mean, the first track, Mexico, even seems to have the exact same time signature as Living in the Past by Jethro Tull, which is probably their most well-known song. Even if you're not into Jethro Tull, everyone I think knows Living in the Past. It was a big hit. But yeah, this is a wonderful prog record. Lengthy compositions, great musicianship. It ticks all the right boxes. I'd love an original, but isn't it, unless one happens to turn up really cheap here in the UK, nah, it's never going to happen, I'm afraid. It's just one of those ones I will always just happily settle for a good quality reissue. Whether you'll find this out in the wild, I don't know. If you are curious to pick it up, there are copies for sale, reissue and original, on Discogs. So if you're a fan of prog, Thor's Hammer from Denmark, from, I believe, 1971. This is absolutely fantastic. Next up, this is an original, and it's a privy to have this one. It's on my favourite label, Harvest. I've done a whole video on Harvest Records, but this one didn't feature in my top picks. I do like this one, but it's not quite as good as some of my favourites on the label. But anyway, digressing. This is self-titled, complete one and done by Bakerloo. Amazingly good cover, this one. I think I believe the bass player drew this. Opens out like that. Yeah, fantastic stuff. So I think it's maybe a marginal inclusion for a prog and psych one, but it would certainly appeal to anyone who listens to psych and prog rock. This is a late 60s bluesy record, recorded in 1969, and it's very much that year of transitioning into kind of more experimental and hard rock areas. It's a great, great record. Just a great power trio, great musicianship, and there are some really, really heavy moments on this. I mean, it is kind of, you're almost talking kind of proto-metal in places, especially on the last track, which is kind of 15 minutes long. Really, really kind of heavy riffing, sort of chugging drums and bass. It is a great, great record. And as I say, lucky to have it. I certainly didn't pay as much as what it goes for now. But if you do want an original, do check out. It was released in Germany as well, and the German pressings I've noticed tend to sell for a lot less, and will be of very good quality on Harvest. If you want a reissue, it's on CD. It's been reissued on vinyl as well, so it is well worth picking up. Complete one and done. It's not a supergroup. No, they're almost like a pre-supergroup. The most famous member is Clem Clempson, who left the band. I think that's probably why they ended. Who joined Colosseum, play on Daughter of Time and the live record. And the other two members, the bassist and the drummer, formed May Blitz, which had a couple of great albums on Vertigo. But for whatever reason, those May Blitz albums, by the time they actually recorded, the rhythm section had gone to be replaced by other members. So, Clem Clempson, went on Humble Pie as well. He was, who was he? Wasn't Steve Marriott, Peter Frampton's successor in Humble Pie. So he did all right for himself. He's a good name, great vocalist, and a fantastic guitarist. So, Bakerloo, if you like late 60s blues, this is absolutely essential. Okay, we've got a peculiar one now. Do you know what? This is why I love doing these vids, showing really odd records, and I love this one. I don't know. I don't hear it discussed anywhere, to be honest with you, this one. This one is by G.F. Fitzgerald. The album is called Mouseproof. Oh, it's so peculiar. It really is. I don't know how to describe this one. I think if you were to if I was to try and describe it, I would say it is maybe a little bit on the Canterbury side of prog. It's from 1972. It is just one person of it. He does have sort of various session musicians backing him up, but it's kind of quirky, eccentric, very varied. It's experimental. There are some bits which are really out there and others which are kind of just ethereal and folky. It's a really, really, really interesting record. I, from memory, don't think he's put anything else out. This one here is a German original. It's on the Uni label. Was released in the UK, and that costs a lot more. I have never, ever seen this for sale, ever, since I bought this. I've never, ever seen this in the wild. I know I haven't. I got this years ago. I think it was kind of like 2007. I got it from the Record Fair when they used to do it at Olympia in November in London. And this was actually from, I think it was a German seller from memory. I don't know how I remember these things, but I do remember it. All the prices were in euros, and he calculated it. And that's when we used to have a good rate, pound against the euro. The conversion was absolutely great back in those days. Anyway, I digress. If you can pick this one up, I urge you to look out for it. I think it has got a CD reissue. Whether that's official or not, I don't know. I don't think it's been reissued on vinyl, but if you fancy taking a punt, it's probably streamable here on YouTube. It's very quirky, it's very, very interesting. I think the inside gatefold, if you can see the kind of absolute chaos that's going on there, it almost kind of sums the record up. It's a real peculiar one and done. I don't know much about G.F. Fitzgerald, who he was or what he did. If anyone else does know, as always, I'd be very interested to hear from you in the comments. Okay, another very much one and done. Clive John. You always know where you stand with a buzzard. Now, some of you, if you're watching, if you're on the South Coast and you attend record fairs, you'll recognise that handwriting. I bought this from Clive, and he had it at half price a few years back. I remember showing this one. I featured this, I think, on one of my very, very first videos when I started back in 2022. I've been doing this 3 years now. I remember getting this and showing it and talking about it. But anyway, I given it another spin. So just to give a bit of background, Clive John used to be a member of Man, who are a fantastic band. At one stage, Man, very many years ago, I consider them to be my favourite band of all time. I thought they were the best band ever. I still adore them, but other bands kind of have taken over from that ranking in my life. But anyway, yes, he was the original keyboard player, left the band, only to return about a year later for one album, and he switched to rhythm guitar, which is a bit unusual. The lineup in Man, they were a strange band. Bear in mind they existed for 8 years between 68 and 76 and had 13 lineups. 13 lineups. I mean, that makes kind of Frank Zappa and John Mayall a safe job, doesn't it? God, yeah. I don't think anyone else has had lineup changes like that. That's what makes them so great. Anyway, the album, fantastic, well produced, quite commercial sounding in a way. It's not too experimental and too out there. Again, it's a great collection of songs, but it will appeal to anyone who likes heavy psych, progressive rock. This, out of all the offshoots and kind of solo projects that Man did, and there were a few, this is without a doubt the best, in my opinion. This is really, really good. And it just kind of made me think, how did this album come about? Because he hadn't been performing in Man for years. I don't think he was really performing as a session musician at all for a few years up to this release. But mate, did he have these songs kind of stockpiled and he was just allowed to release them? And it's just an album that shows so much promise. I mean, if you've got any sort of solo artist coming out with something like this would be an amazing debut album against a good run of albums to follow. But no, it's a complete one and done. There's no other singles, no nothing. I've looked on Discogs. It only had a UK release. It wasn't released anywhere else in the world. I think it's been released on CD, no vinyl reissue, and prices are going up. So if you like Man, or if you like kind of just great singer-songwriter, heavy psych, progressive rock, this is one to look out for. I do see it from time to time, but yeah. And I'll tell you what, doesn't he just look the part there? Most definitely. So yeah, grab yourselves a copy if you see it. And last, but by no means least, another one that I did show recently when I purchased it. I got this from Sounds in Southsea a good few months ago. This is debut album by Marmalade. There's a lot of it about. So I've got 2 Marmalade records, the 2 that follow this. They're good. They're good. I also like Junior Campbell was in this band. I love that. Love his solo record. I picked this up. It was priced quite nicely, and for its age, it was in impeccably good condition. But for some reason, I was a bit wary. I was like, is this going to be any good? It's really reliant on cover versions. It's nearly 50% covers. It's got Mr. Tambourine Man, Hey Joe, and I'm like, do we really need more covers of those songs that have been covered well elsewhere? This album is absolutely great. I thought it was going to be a bit on the lightweight side, but it's not. It's actually quite heavy sounding for the time. The original tracks on there, I think, were the best. They can be quite psychedelic at times, but yeah, it is quite a powerhouse record. Great vocal harmonies, and the covers are actually really good. You got Hey Joe on here, and it's amazing. They don't sort of change it that much, but they really put their own stamp on it, and they sort of sing it with really amazing vocal harmonies. I See the Rain, classic side track. This is really, really good. And again, this is not a pricey record. You do see it about. You could probably get it for as little as £10, to be fair, if you played your cards right. So yeah, if you're into late 60s UK psychedelia, this is definitely one to check out. It comes highly recommended. Okay then, so that's it. That's all from me. Just some things to show. So I always say thank you very much for tuning in, and I really do mean it. The subscribers have been going up. We had a bit of a lull through the summer, but yeah, it's really picking up again. But if you haven't subbed already, please give me a sub and a like. It really does help the channel. I do love to hear from you. If you've got any comments, any recommendations, or you want to tell me what you've been listening to over the last week, month, few months, whatever, please let me know in the comments. I will always try and respond. So until the next video, take care of yourselves as always, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon.